Today's tutorial is going to be a GitHub tutorial, specifically on how to navigate GitHub like a pro. Welcome to GitHub. GitHub and Git can be arguably one of the most important things you're going to learn as a programming in your programming career. So let's get into it. In today's video, you're going to be learning all about how to navigate GitHub like a pro. You're going to learn all about this really cool stuff like what contributions are, repositories, organizations, how to set it up with profile picture status, your themes like dark theme, light theme, like this, all that, and more in this video. So make sure to watch till the end. Let's get into it. So first things first, let's start off with getting into GitHub. So first thing you're gonna do is, if you don't already have an account, just sign up. It's literally a matter of an email address, so do it right now. Okay, if you that's done already, you're probably gonna be on your own profile page, and that's where you want to be. So you're gonna see that you're on this tab, which is the overview tab, and you're gonna want to stay here for now. So we have a bunch of stuff going on here where you can see that we have our profile picture. This is my profile, so this is my avatar. It's a picture of me. We have my name. We have these like contributions. As you can see, I've done 222 contributions in the last year. And we have pinned repositories. We have organizations. We have all this contribution activity. A lot of stuff. So let's start off. So before I actually go over through contributions let me just tell you a bit about GitHub. So GitHub and Git, especially GitHub, is a place where programmers use put their code to save it. Okay, so it's essentially a very powerful tool, and a bunch of companies use it. Okay, cool. So I just talked to myself. So we have as I said, a bunch of companies use it, and it's a very powerful tool, GitHub and Git, and you use it to save your work. So as you can see, we have like my website is stored here. We have like an app that I made in Swift, all this different stuff, right? We have it, and I can save it on GitHub using Git and commands. There'll be later tutorials with Git. So yeah, so let's get back to contributions. So contributions, as you can see, I have 222 contributions in the last year. So first thing that's going to pop up probably in your brain, first question is going to show up is, what the hell are contributions? What the hell do they do? What the hell do they mean? So, what do they mean? So contributions, what are contributions? So whenever essentially that you create a repository, whenever you create an organization, whenever you join an organization, whenever you join a repository, whenever you commit a file, I'm going to tell you about what committing is, what pushing is, what fetching is, all of these things, okay? Great. So, whenever you do something, whenever you commit some code to a file and save it on GitHub, you will get a contribution. Now, you can get multiple contributions in a day, and you're probably, if you're ever saving work, you're probably going to get more contributions than one in one day. And so, yeah. So, to see each contribution specifically, you can hover over, and as you can see, we have like boxes. So, we have boxes. And let's say I just want to see, and let's just say I want to see over, as you can see, if it's gray, the greener the box, the darker green the box, the more contributions you've committed. So GitHub makes it very easy to see, for someone to see how many commits a person has made. So we can see that we have a box for each day. And as you can see, I wasn't really coding much in July. And then in September I picked it up, October definitely. And then if you hover over it, you can see on October 14th, 2020, I have 3 contributions. On October 20th, 2020, I have 10 contributions. So another powerful part of GitHub is that you can see exactly what you did on that day if you committed it. So if I click on this 10 contributions, as you can see, this contribution activity just reloaded, and it says I created 9 commits in 2 repositories. So as you can see here, I created 2 commits. I think this was during a hackathon. So I did all these commits, right? So I can see exactly what I did. And so GitHub is essentially like this. You'll want to learn this, where you can have your you can click on files, and it's essentially like this, where you can see. So yeah, that's essentially contributions. You might be asking, why are contributions important? Contributions are really important because, like, the more you do contributions, the more code essentially you're doing. So it becomes like a skill, sort of, where, like, it's just a very good thing to have a bunch of contributions. And definitely whenever you're doing code, just make sure to save it on GitHub. And yeah, so those are contributions. Are repositories. Number one, don't call repositories repositories, call them repos. So if we go back in the video,
a repository, sorry.
You're gonna hear me say repos, and I said, sorry, repositories. So I just say repos regularly. You should try and say repos commonly. You can also say repositories, but I recommend that you say repos. So it's just a short form and it's faster to say. So what are repos and how do you use them? So repos, I'm actually just going to call them repositories because that's the main word and this is just the tutorial. So repositories, what are they used for? So repositories, you would essentially create a repository and then you'd put files of code in those repositories. So repositories are like folders, essentially, on like a desktop. So as you can see, like even this, markinteo.github.io, Blogger, Emoji App, Anime Finder, all of those are repositories. So how do you view your repositories? Simple. You see this tab right next to Overview. You're going to click on Repositories, and you can see all your repositories. So as you can see, we can go over each repository, and as you can see, I have like email price here. I can click on email price, and you can see each of the code, all the code that you added. So it's basically a folder where you can commit your files in. I'm going to be making some tutorials on how to create repositories and all that good stuff, so make sure to subscribe. So we have repositories, and this is really important, but you might be asking, how do I create a repository, right? Because, Mark, this is all useful stuff, but it's useless without knowing how to actually know how to create a repository. So this is how you do it. You're gonna either go to the plus button up here, and you can click, sorry, not plus button. So yeah, you can click new repository, or the easier way is if you're at overview, you can just go onto your profile, click on repositories. As you can see, I have 29, and you can just click on new. Once you go to new, you can create a repository name, and I'm actually going to show you something really quick before this. So as you can see, if we go back to overview, today I have no contributions. So if you go back in this video, I said if you create a repository, you will get a contribution. So as you can see, today I have no contributions. And if I click on new, and I say, let's just call this GitHub-tutorial, and you can either make it public or private. Private is you can choose who can see and commit to this repository. Public is anyone on the internet can see it, but you can choose who can commit. That's another really cool thing about GitHub, where you can go on people's GitHub repositories, you can check it out, and if you want to help them, you can add like something. You could clone repositories. I'm going to be talking about in a later video what cloning is, what git fetching is, all that really important stuff. But yeah, so if I can say public, I can just say create repository, and boom, it's created a repository for me, right? So if I go back now, I will have a contribution, and as you can see, I have one contribution today. If I click on it, it'll say created one repository, Mark and Teo /GitHub-tutorial. So those are essentially repositories. They're very, 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 very important, and yeah, those are repositories. So this is a lot of information to take in, so take a 5-second break, go down, press subscribe, and you'll feel it's very refreshing for you and nice. Okay, that 5-second break is over. Get back to the video and let's get into it. So our next thing for today's video is organizations. So organizations, I'm pretty sure in my experience you don't see them as much as repositories, but they're still very important. So how do you create an organization, and what is an organization? So an organization is essentially like a bigger repository. So you can have you can have an organization allows you to, so repositories can hold folders, and in those folders files. Organizations can hold multiple repositories, right, with multiple folders and files. So GitHub is very can become very complex, but it's also extremely simple to get used to. So how do we create an organization? And so if I didn't say it already, it's important because that's how companies, or even if you're working on a big project, you can separate the repos, the repositories based on, like, okay, so say we were making like a huge weather app, for example, right? So you can create a weather app, like a weather. You can create a repository for displaying the temperature. You can create a repository for displaying the week's temperature. You can organize it just like that. It's really cool. So how do you create an organization? Well, you're gonna go up to this plus button, and all you say is new organization, and you can say join for free, and you're gonna have to answer all these questions. I'm not gonna be doing that in this video, but yeah, those are essentially organizations. So that's essentially all, but there's one more thing before I leave for this video, which is how to customize. So GitHub allows you to customize a lot. So if you see, this is my profile picture. Your profile picture, once you just create an account, will not be your face or whatever, and I have a status here of learning. So how do I change all this stuff? I'm just gonna go to edit profile. I can add a bio, company, location, website, Twitter username. I can save it. I can click on change your avatar. I can change my name, my public email, my bio, URL, Twitter username, company, all that stuff. I can edit my picture, right? Upload a photo, remove a photo. All this is stuff. And if we go back to the main page, we can see that they have a dark mode and a light mode. So for people who like dark mode, like me, we can click on dark mode. Now, I actually don't really like GitHub's dark mode. It's just personal preference, but you can click on dark mode. And I recently found out that they have a new dark mode. So if you ever want to click on the settings and go to your settings and change all that stuff, you can see at the top right corner, you can click on your profile and you can click on settings. You can also sign out, but I don't really sign out. So you can go to account, appearance, and as you can see, you can have your preferred default emoji skin tone. So if you want like yellow, white, all those colors, you can choose from there. So you can also use what I'm getting to here is the themes. So you can choose dark dimmed, you can choose default dark, or default light. So I prefer default light. I usually prefer dark theme, but right now I use default light. That's just my personal preference. It's up to you. And they have a bunch of important things like SSH keys, repositories, packages, all that cool stuff. But yeah, that's essentially how to navigate GitHub. If you ever want to go back, you can just click on this button and it'll take you. As you can see, we have some stuff here, which is what I've been working on. But yeah, so that's essentially GitHub. That's how you can navigate the main page. And once you have also a lot of repositories, you can customize them and you can pin them to your screen. So if you ever want to like show off your skills, you can put on your most important repositories to you on your main page. So those are essentially, that's how you navigate GitHub. If you practice navigating through GitHub, you will become a pro. This video is going to help you become a pro at navigating GitHub. And yeah, that's essentially how you navigate GitHub. So that was today's GitHub 101 tutorial. That was the video. There's a lot to cover about in the topic of GitHub and Git, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss another GitHub tutorial by me. Thanks for watching and live creatively. Creative Coding out.